The way I would approach equation 3 is we don't know exactly how many questions would be answered correctly, but we do know there's 40. So if a person got 50%, that means that they would get 20 out of 40 correct. If a person got 75% correct, they would get 30 out of 40. If they got 100%, they would get 40 out of 40 correct. And you could go down to 25%. And that would give you 10 out of 40. Well, let's do this. Let's read our question here again. So write an equation that could be used to determine y, the percent grade, with x the correct answers. Well, if we get 25% correct, it means we answered 10 correctly. So let's do this. Let's make an x, y table. So if we get 40 correct, because that's the number of correct answers. $40x equals 100%. 30 for x gives you 75. 20 gives you 50%. 10 gives you 25%. Alright, so some of this information that I used to reason this out, we don't need this anymore. And we're dealing with percent. So let's get rid of that. So 40 along the x-axis will produce 100 along the y-axis. Alright, if you graph that, you could just plot those points. So we need to know what our slope is, and we need to know what our y-intercept is. So let's figure the slope. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Well, let's pick 2 points. Let's say 1 and 2. So let's replace those values. The y, we got 25 minus 50. And then for the x, 10 minus 20. So we have negative 25 over negative 10, which equals 2.5. So we can replace our m with 2.5, and that will give us our slope. Now we got to find what our y-intercept would be. Well, let's go down from 10 to 20. We see a reduction from 50 to 25. So so to go to 0, from 10 to 0, it's the same amount from 20 to 10. Okay, well, so what's the difference to go from 50 to 25? Well, that's the same amount as to go from 25 to 0. So our y-intercept is 0.